Why and where are these Deion Sanders rumors coming from? Yesterday, all over television. Is it just opinion? Are people starting to hear whispers? This was Stephen A. Smith, who just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, said Bill Belichick's the answer. I think someone over at First Take forgot to remind Stephen A. that was his take, and that's what he said. Go and get Bill Belichick. Stephen A. now has a different answer.
I believe that the Dallas Cowboys should tank the rest of the season, get the number 1 overall pick, so you can draft Shador Sanders, and by the way, hire primetime Deion Sanders as your head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. I think that should be Jerry Jones's master plan. That's right, I said it. Hire primetime Deion Sanders. You got to tank the season to make sure you can get his son as your quarterback, okay? And you move forward that way.
Well, you don't have to tank. They suck. And Bobby, you look thrown off.
It's called First Take because it's just their first take. They're going to have several after that.
They haven't figured out take number 2, 3, and 4 yet.
Yeah, they'll have other takes after that and adjust it as needed. Yeah, this is stupid. Like, and he knows it's stupid. That's why he said, "That's right, I said it." Because he's sitting there thinking like, "Oh, I'm going to say this," and people at home they're going to say, "Did Stephen A. just say that?" And then I'm going to say, "That's right, I said it." Shador Sanders in primetime. Oh my goodness, it's going to be what a couple. There's so many other players that, like you mentioned, you don't have to tank. They're bad. They are right now with the quarterback situation they have and the help they have. They are probably one of the 3 worst teams in football. They're that bad.
I was on NBC5.
Well,
and I was trying to come up with the bottom 3, and I kind of forgot New England. Also, Giants, Panthers, us, and then I was like, oh, yeah, there's the Patriots as well. So would it be a bottom 4?
I'm like Steve Young. I think the Giants are better than you right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, with Dak not there, then yes.
Given your quarterback situation right now due to injury, you are one of the 3 worst. Look, if you talk about, they have these graphs for EPA per play on offense and defense, and they have these little charts that you can look at the X and Y axis, and Dallas is right in the very back corner away from the rest of the NFL with Carolina as the worst team in the NFL in that. And so, look, I think that there's plenty of players they could take at the top of the draft. Shador Sanders would be the last name I would think they would take at the top of the draft, and I don't think they would ever consider hiring Deion.
All right, RJ Choppy, humor me for a second. Let's just get rid of the Shador part. Dak Prescott just got $240. It's a $90 million cap hit. Let me argue the opposite way. Could you draft Shador and next year just say, we're going to take the $90 million hit? We'll let him transition. It'll be the first year of Troy Aikman. Even if we win 1 game, 2 games, you deal Dak. Is that just suck next year with the cap hit or not be able to add to your football team? I'm just devil's advocate, and the whole cap hit thing is gone. Dealing him, another team paying him that salary, would that now be out the window?
His cap, if you traded him, it would be, I think, $150 million cap hit. Is that what that would be?
Oh, I thought it was 90.
That's his regular cap hit.
What would it be? His 5th year?
You would get all of his guarantees coming to you.
If you trade him, it costs you, you lose $100 million on your cap. If you cut him, this is pre-June 1, obviously. If you cut him, it's $151 million. It's not financial. I mean, that's you lose well over half the salary cap. That, like, it's basically saying, hey, operate on a salary cap that was lower than the year after COVID.
But $90 million if you trade him.
It's $100 million if you trade him.
Okay.
Yeah. $100 million in the red. So that means if the salary cap is $265, they would be operating on a salary cap of $165. And if they cut him, it'd be $110.
Now, theoretically, you could have $35 million with CD, so now you're at $135 million of the $265. And then, you don't necessarily have to sign Micah. He would cost you $21 million, so now you're at $156 million. So you've got $110 million or so left over for 51 players. Theoretically, you could do it. Yeah, you could do that.
They need a Bobby Marks of the NFL for stuff like this. Bobby Marks is there for the NBA, hops on the GB Nation. They need someone to come and be like, all right, financially, how would this work? I don't know why they don't have it for the NFL, probably because it would erase a lot of their takes. But did you say you would think it would be more like, if one of the two had to happen, more likely that they drafted Shedeur than hired Deion?
Pre-Dak contract, yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they think Shedeur's a bad player. I think they think, yeah, he's somebody who could be in the conversation. But there's plenty of options at the top of the draft. Brian Broaddus said he spent the last 2 days, this Sunday game, sent him to it. He said he's now 7 players deep in the NFL draft study already. So
is that Mike McCarthy reviewing the Texans?
He is. Well, look, I mean, Mike got sent, but
Six plays.
Mike could only do 6 plays. Brian did 7 players, and so figure that out, I guess, in terms of how that's possible. But no, there's plenty of options up at the top of the draft of really good players that you could look at. Brian said he'd play Travis Hunter at receiver after watching him. He thinks that he'd make a difference there, but there's lots of different types of players that you could investigate that I just don't think Shedeur would be up there. The bigger thing to me is I don't believe they would ever want the aura of prime here right now.
Rex Ryan threw some gas on the fire.
Deion Sanders may be in play here. And I'm going to tell you, they need something. They need to have somebody that has the pride in that damn organization. Being a Dallas Cowboy, the pride you take in it. And by the way, Deion, everywhere he's been, has been kicking you know what. Mm-hmm. All right, Jackson State, they were unbelievable when he was there. He takes Colorado. Right now, they're 7-2. Nobody saw that coming. They're playing in the big, whatever the damn
Big 12,
now.
yeah.
Big 12. Like, I'm just saying, that because I already know Mike McCarthy's a good football coach, and he's going to be out the door. There's no doubt about it. The whole thing's going to be blown up. But watch what happens. They need that. How are you going to get this kid back on board? He's going to have to damn respect that guy that comes in that building. You're not going to respect Deion Sanders? He's twice the player you are. All right? And you know what? I coached Deion Sanders. Great teammate.
And he's taking that shot at Micah right there. So, in terms of Deion, number one, Deion has said he doesn't want to coach in the pros. And I don't think Deion Sanders' style is going to work as much in the NFL like Nick Saban. Nick Saban can't sit there and be a tyrant and boss around professional athletes. I don't think it would work as much. I think Deion's perfect for college in terms of having the spotlight and being the loudest one and the most important person. But I did do a lot of thinking about how Deion would work with Jerry, and I know Bobby and RJ, both y'all felt yesterday Jerry wouldn't do it because Deion would be too bright of a star, which is just a depressing and maddening reason to think that someone would not be hired.
I totally agree.
I counter back with, well, what about Bill Belichick being the main man around here? But Bill obviously would not be as loud as Deion. But put that to the side for a second. I do think, like, personality-wise and dealing with the team and saying you're not going to the owner, I do think that, like, Deion Sanders would be a personality that would work with Jerry and all the noise around here that people are not used to. So you got football fit. I don't think he could, I don't think he would want to deal with professional athletes who just don't listen to him blindly. Jerry fit, I think it works. Shedeur fit, obviously does not work because of the Dak deal and whatever you think, some think, Bobby, about Shedeur as a player. So there's 3 different things. Shedeur, Jerry, and coaching pro guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, Deion could absolutely handle the noise. He would not, I don't think. Now, I will say this.
It'd actually be perfect.
He would, because we've seen him push back on critical media.
Oh, yeah.
So that.
Yeah.
And look, this isn't New York or Philly, but it's much more critical than Boulder, Colorado.
Yep.
So how many? Bobby would get kicked out of the press conferences. Like, he just would.
Not even.
I think.
Does Bobby ask questions in the press conference?
Well, no, but on Fridays he does.
Not in 5 years.
And he would.
I never heard one.
Yeah,
I just said not in 5 years. I haven't.
Not in 5 years. I thought you said you have in 5 years.
But the point is, he would pinpoint that you're out. Even if you're not even asking questions, you're out.
Yeah.
So I do think there would be that. He would have to get over that factor. But he can absolutely handle the distractions, or so to speak, because
Yeah, but he is sensitive. You're right.
he's a little sensitive.
Yeah.
I
guess you can make the argument he'd handle it worse than like Mike McCarthy because Deion would respond to a lot more.
He would respond to a lot more. He would listen to a lot more. He would absolutely hear the noise.
Yes.
But I think he's comfortable in a circus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he's comfortable in because
And I don't think he wouldn't roll his eyes at Jerry as much for the undermining and all that stuff.
No. Yeah,
I
I think so. Here's the only thing is that are you hiring Deion because Deion is the best possible coach for the Cowboys? The answer is probably not. So we're operating under the assumption that it's about flash and splash hire. So that's where I then come at it from the angle of, all right, was it too splashy for Jerry at that point? Because it takes away. If we're operating under the assumption the whole reason he's being hired is for something outside of football reasons, well, the outside of football reasons might outshine Jerry, and that's why I don't think he'd make the move. But I don't.
And would Deion not coach a pro team unless he had Shador? That's another thing.
Or
because I think Deion's 5-year deal is up right now. No, it hasn't been.
no,
5.
this is year 2, right?
it just feels like 5 years.
Was it a
with him.
5-year deal?
Yeah, but
Had to be.
it feels like
Yeah,
5
this is
with
year
him.
2.
No, I think he would. I think he'd go somewhere with Travis Hunter. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be Shador necessarily. It could be Travis Hunter.
He views Travis as a son of his. I mean, he's become a father figure for him.
More than Shiloh.
Stop.
What was the Quincy Avery tweet about Deion Sanders Jr.? He's like, boy, what a shame. He gets treated like less of a son because he can't backpedal.
Dang. So that's all the Deion noise. I think these networks are getting desperate for the topics and the angles because the Cowboys stink and are about to be even more irrelevant with all the losing.
Rex Ryan didn't know if he was actually in the mix for a job, so I don't think he's going to be taken seriously when he says Deion's in the
Rex
mix
doesn't
for
know
a
what
job.
conference Colorado's in either.
Yeah. Exactly.
What are they in the whack?
Yeah. So there's all the Deion Sanders noise on the networks over the past 48 hours.